going on, guys? Goat and Platt here. Welcome back to another episode of the Pen Pals podcast. So yeah, can you stop button mashing? Alright, today's advice of the day. We do a formula here for a little bit. Learn how to listen. You can't learn anything when you're talking. Isn't that right, Will?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Now, let's talk about some things. First of all, in the NFL, there were a couple of upsets today. Let me find my NFL app. There it is. Let me run through the list. We are currently recording this Sunday, 6:46 Central Time. The Raiders are currently playing the Broncos. 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Broncos are winning 16-15. Keep that updated. Okay. Later on tonight, the 49ers are playing the Seahawks. Falcons beat the Buccaneers 28-22. Dolphins beat the Patriots 27-24. Holy crap.
Here.
That is a big surprise. Fitzmagic just came out. The Bears beat the Vikings 21-19. The Chiefs beat the Chargers 31-21. We watched that game at work today. The Packers beat the Lions 23-20 after the Packers were losing. Was it 3-10? Like early in the second quarter. And then the Bengals beat the Browns 33-23. That was kind of an upset. Saints beat the Panthers 42-10. The Jets beat the Bills 13-6. Rams beat the Cardinals 31-24. Eagles beat the Giants 34-17. Jaguars beat the Colts 38-20. Titans beat the Texans 35-14. I had to look at my dad. He's a big Texans fan. The Cowboys beat the Redskins 47-16. I mean, that comes as no surprise. And Will?
Yeah.
The Ravens beat the Steelers 28-10.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Yeah.
But because the Tennessee Titans win, I think we might clutch the wild card.
Wait, hang on. Ravens. Look. All right. The Ravens. This is their first season where they have won 14 games. That's their franchise record. Ezekiel Elliott, fifth player in team history with over 40 rushing yards for a touchdown. Titans clinched a playoff spot. Oh wow, the Jaguars are undefeated at home in Week 17, 7-0. Eagles clinched NFC East. Rams won 6 straight games against the Cardinals. I mean, that's actually kind of a surprise considering a couple years back the Cardinals had a pretty good team.
But in the end, it's still the freaking Cardinals, my guy.
That's fair. The Saints, 11 games with more than 30 points this season. That's the most in the NFL. Packers clinched first round bye week. The Chiefs clinched first round bye week. Mitchell Trubisky threw 3,000 passing yards in 2 straight seasons. Brady passed Peyton Manning for second most pass touchdowns in the NFL history. I think Drew Brees is first. The Seahawks won 10 of the last 11 games against the 49ers. And the Broncos have won 4 of the last 5 games, only losses against the Chiefs. Right now, Broncos have the ball with 1 second left in the fourth quarter, 2nd and 12 at the Denver 48. It looks like the Broncos are winning this one, and my boys are bringing home a victory. So, yeah. Kind of an eventful week for NFL football, huh? LSU beat Oklahoma, and they're playing in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. And here's the upset. Clemson beat Ohio State. I can't remember the score. Let me look it up. Clemson beat Ohio State 29-23, and they are now on a 29-game win streak, which is sadly going to be crushed by the LSU Tigers in a couple weeks. What do you think,
Yes.
Will?
Yeah, that's definitely for sure.
Well, here's the thing about that. I like both teams. Like those are my two favorite teams in the NCAA football league. So it kind of sucks to see them pitted against each other. And
I think it's be a good game though.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a good game. All right, and on to something more Will size. What's going on in the UFC nowadays?
Holy shit! Holy shit! So in January we've got Conor McGregor fighting Mr. Cowboy Cerrone. Donald Cerrone, good fighter. But the fight is set at 170, but they both describe it as it's basically a 155 fight just at 170 because they don't want to lose weight. Basically, that's the best way to describe it. I think Cerrone will win. To be honest, that's who my odds are on Cerrone. But I want Cerrone to win. But for the sake of the possibilities that could come from Conor McGregor winning, I think I'd like to see McGregor win.
And what possibilities would those be?
Anything, really. If he stays at 170, if he loses, well, let's start if he loses. And he loses, he can choose to stay at 170, which opens up for a Masvidal fight. Says Dana White. Well, that's what Dana White said. Conor says he doesn't know if that'd be smart, but Dana White, which is the UFC president, for those who don't know. And then if he was to win, that could potentially set up another fight for with Khabib, which could for the light champion, for the lightweight division champion.
And when was the last time they fought?
Was it 2017, 2018? I don't know.
I think it was 2017.
Yeah. That shit was crazy. The post, like, when Khabib jumped the frickin', what's it called? Jumped the octagon and jumped into the crowd and tried to fight Conor's training partner or whatever. Yeah.
I remember that.
So
That
there'd be a lot
crazy.
of press behind that. If that's what happens. But also, Khabib's got a fight coming up with Tony Ferguson, and they tried to do this fight a lot, but it just never worked out because of injuries and things like that. But
I remember you telling that in the last episode.
yeah, and if he does that, if he wins that, opens up another fight with Conor, or if he could potentially fight Cerrone if that's where he wanted to go. There's a lot of opportunities. Middle, I think it's middleweight. Israel Adesanya, haven't heard anything from him in a little bit. I kind of want to see him get back in the cage.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou, who's going to be fighting coming this March. He's a heavyweight. He's really good. Oh my gosh! And not UFC, but Bellator. I think it was last night. Rampage Jackson versus Fedor Emelianenko, I think. Holy crap! I sent it to you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Fedor slept him.
I
think it was in the first round.
Here, like right now.
Alrighty. This kid's I don't say kid. This man's really talented.
Yeah. Well, voice crack there.
But
yeah, he does. I mean, it was a clean hit, and he just went down.
yeah, and there is the argument that heavyweight boxing or fighting in general is really boring because once you start getting to like light heavyweight and heavyweights and stuff, it stops being more about technique and basically about who's got the tougher chin. which that's a big part of boxing. But when you start looking at lightweights and what they're doing right now, and welterweights and all these guys are fighting very skilled in technique and are doing a lot of grappling and things, and it's just I don't know. There's not really much you can do to describe it besides it's just what it is. So
well,
that will be interesting.
Yep. Next up, we have the recent passing of tobacco regulations.
Ooh, rough.
How so?
For those who haven't known, it has been up to 21 now, not 18. And I will leave the floor open to Godish to give his first opinion on that. Give the first opinion on it.
I can't really have an opinion on this, you know? I mean, I don't really use the products.
Me neither.
So yeah, that's what's going on with,
I think, personally, it's weird.
I mean, it is kind of needed with the more recent cases of people getting addicted on nicotine. Like more and more teenagers. Now it's going to be a lot more difficult to be able to get those types of products from close friends.
Even though that is a thing, I feel like, yeah, that is true. And there's a lot of it too. But there are a lot of people that are 18, 19 that this is going to affect. Like, I know some people that are 18 and this is going to affect. Mm-hmm. And also, at a certain point, you have to start thinking about this at a certain point. Like you got to be like, when I know the company's marketing children, that's messed up. I don't agree with that at all. But at a certain point, you got to be like, this is partially the kids that are on it's fault too. Mm-hmm. Like, they need to own up and start taking fucking responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Alright. Next up, we have Rise of Skywalker. Hey, we got a couple of movies. I have. People say it's actually really, really bad. And the Rotten Tomatoes thing says so. As a standalone movie, it is pretty good. It is really, really good. I'll give props to them for it. But as a part of the saga that's so well known for being absolute, like, it's made a lot of money. It is somewhat disappointing in some aspects, but it is still really good. Critics' consensus. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker suffers from a frustrating lack of imagination, but concludes this beloved saga with fan-focused devotion. 55% on the tomato meter, and 86% audience score. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent movie. It's pretty good. I think J.J. Abrams did a pretty good job with this. What do you think?
I didn't see it, but from what you're saying, it sounds like they might have flopped it a little bit, but...
Yeah.
But...
you know...
Does it do its job by concluding the saga?
Yeah, it does a pretty good job by concluding it. You know, there's this article out right now, and I can't remember the exact, like, source that it came from, but this person that was writing the article, they said, the headline was like, George Lucas doesn't show up to the original screening of Rise of Skywalker. And then it goes on to say, there were a lot of people that didn't go to the Rise of the Skywalker screening, but most notably were creator George Lucas and Carrie Fisher. Now, for those of you that don't know, Carrie Fisher passed away, somewhat recently.
That's messed up.
And yeah, it is kind of really messed up. So they really had to do her dirty like that, apparently. because that's journalism or whatever. Anyways, moving on to the next movie, we have Jumanji: The Next Level.
Jumanji.
It has 71% on the tomato meter, 87% audience score, and this is the critics' consensus. Like many classic games, Jumanji: The Next Level retains core components of what came before while adding enough fresh bits to keep things playable. I haven't personally seen it, but I do have some friends that have seen it, and they say that it is a really, really good movie. Kevin Hart and The Rock, of course, being the main two, with Jack Black in the background and that other chick, I can't remember her name.
She's not important.
She's not important. Karen Gillan. So yeah, that's pretty good. And okay, moving on from movies. One song that was highlighted. Lil Baby's newest single, called "Whoa." What do you think about it? We gave it a quick listen before we started it too, so we can get it fresh in our minds, so we can talk about it. So what do you think, Will?
It's good. I enjoyed it.
I think it brings up a lot of aspects of him growing up, much like a lot of his songs. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty good movie.
You had to get real philosophical and shit, didn't you? And you said movie, you dumbass.
I meant song. I said music, not movie.
I thought you said movie. I think you said movie. When you go back and edit this...
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the recording and and listen to what I said. But anyways... I have one more thing left in the podcast. The decade, 2020, or the 2010s are coming to an end.
Yes.
And how do you feel about that? Well, what's gonna be your what's your favorite moment of the decade?
I like when Kanye stormed up on stage when Taylor Swift did her award thing. Kanye went up on stage. That was pretty awesome.
Kanye's Kanye, dude.
I love Kanye West. He's awesome.
He's crazy. Yeah.
This has been a short podcast. I feel like this is more, instead of a podcast talking about random topics like a news headline flash.
Pretty much.
I feel like a lot of topics are just a lot of like podcasts. They end up like just talking about random crap.
Like,
like watch JRE.
Yeah. So anyways, what is your what do you think the meme of the decade should be?
Jesus. There's a lot.
Personally, I think it should be SpongeBob, since he's given us so many memes to go off of.
That's not what the question is. What is the singular meme?
No, I'm saying.
If people think it's Baby Yoda, they can shuck it, because it ain't that.
My sister literally just yelled at me, "Baby Yoda." If you didn't hear it, I'll amplify the audio, and your viewers at home can probably hear it. But yeah.
No, I think it could be the two girls and the cat.
No.
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't know what I'm thinking. What should the meme of the decade be? For those of you that want to participate, just go ahead and comment down below. You guys can do that.
Movie of the decade.
Movie of the decade? Ooh. Honestly, I have to agree with my dad and sister if you can hear them in the background. Endgame.
I'll have to say Infinity War.
No, it's the Avengers saga, bro. It just like it brought that whole thing to a conclusion. It was.
Nah, but if you look at it, Endgame's pretty shitty.
How?
Because Because A, they drop all of the stakes. They make it so that it won't erase what happened now or whatever. They basically, instead of finding a way to like bring in some conflict of Tony to choose his new life or to save all the other people, they're just like, no, it'll be fine. We'll write it this way. The storyline, it was just very confusing. It didn't make that much sense. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I guess it didn't stay true to the comics either, because in the comics, Red Skull kills Captain America. He doesn't die of old age.
They just tried to make everybody happy instead of bringing a very complex movie. And Fat Thor, that pissed me off.
That was pretty funny in my opinion.
What they should have done was they should have had him fat, but then whenever it was time, because it's funny, Fat Thor, haha. Imagine the one that's swollen, all the moms that go see it, or who they're keeping their eyes out for, but fat, but like, it's funny, ha ha ha. But whenever he had the lightning hit him, he should have been normal Thor again. But
maybe. But yeah. What about
also
Artist of the Decade?
Who do you think? And don't say Eminem.
Who?
I think it's Drake.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, because he kept putting out hit after hit after hit, only to be rivaled by Kendrick Lamar. Really,
he evolved with the time.
He did. He was smart about it.
Whatever the style was of that time, he changed too.
Yeah, like he changed his rhythm and he changed his flow.
It's far from over song to Sicko Mode and Money in the Grave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
anything else?
How about TV show of the decade? I say Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. I don't know. TV. I'm mainly a Netflix person.
Netflix show of the decade.
Oh, Narcos Mexico, bro.
Come on, man.
What, bro? I just like it. I like it a lot. They're coming out with a season 2, February 15th. I think in this season they're gonna cover the whole breakdown of how El Chapo got the business and how Miguel Angel got arrested. So I'm excited to see that.
I think, to be honest, it could be Stranger Things as much white girl as it sounds.
Yeah.
Because it did get a massive following.
It did. I think it was just because of Finn Wolfhard, honestly.
God. Oh, also, a new Ghostbusters is coming out.
Really?
Uh-huh. Edit that out, too.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to keep tabs on that. But yeah, other than that, I think that's the end of this episode of the podcast. What do you think?
So Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year. We probably won't do this till next year. A lame dad joke. But anyways, if you like this episode of the podcast, like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. You know, go check out Platt Plays in the description down below, if I decide to put it.
I'll kill you if you don't.
He's been testing me recently, so I don't know.
Whatever.
No, he's gonna be down in the description. Yeah. Hope you guys have a nice night, and peace out.
Later.